States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mansell. Here. Levine. Mortimer.
Here.
Roberts.
Here.
Hugo.
Here.
All right, agenda approval. Have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Again? Census Station, DAD Bruce.
Hi, my name is Bruce Eagle, I own with the DAV, and I'd like to see if y'all can donate money again for the flags that we put on the poles on the street on the holidays and special occasions.
I don't think we can, that's something for our attorney here, that.
We'd have to put that on the agenda for the next meeting if you wanted to do that.
Well, they've done it here 2 or 3 times in the past. I don't know what the process is, but
And I understand that, the process is that they just need to have it on the agenda to vote.
okay, that'll work.
So we'll put it on next meeting? That's what we do, Bruce.
Bruce, what's your phone number? Do you mind if I call you?
573-885-1390.
Thank you.
So you want it as an actual line item on the next agenda? Emily?
Put it as a line item.
Anybody else, Census Station?
Yes.
Well, let her go first, maybe.
Absolutely. No, go right ahead.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Hunt, I live in Ward 2, and I attended the park committee meeting on September 4th. There was only one other citizen there besides me, and that probably should have been a surprise since there was only somewhere between 24 and 27 hours notice of the meeting itself. So I'm wondering why such short notice. Now I know 24 hours is what's required by law, so the city certainly did the minimum that was required, but there are a lot of times when what is required simply is not enough. And I think this is one of those times. What could possibly have been so urgent that the committee had to schedule a meeting and meet in such a way that the public was, for all practical purposes, excluded? And I'll answer that question. There was no urgency. All that happened at that meeting was a grant was discussed. A grant that can be applied for up until sometime in mid-November. So there's lots of time. You could have easily given more notice. And maybe, just maybe, some citizens would have shown up. After all, the meeting was not recorded. The only way the citizens could see and hear what happened in that meeting was to show up. And if they had shown up, they would have learned that you're actively considering committing the city to spending $500,000 or more of its own money. And they would have learned that this vast amount of money is not intended to upgrade the electrical grid, even though the grid is so antiquated it's hard to buy parts for it, and it will undoubtedly sooner or later, probably sooner, fail completely. They would have learned that that money wasn't going to be spent on repairing streets, even though you can't drive very far in any direction without hitting a section of street that needs some repairs. They would also have learned that after spending some $400,000 on a single piece of playground equipment that was installed just a few months ago, now you're contemplating spending $500,000 to $800,000 of the city's money, along with $500,000 to $800,000 of grant money for more park stuff. In short, you want to spend as much as $1.6 million on more park stuff. And finally, if the citizens had shown up for that meeting, they would have learned that the grant money, which at least one of you seems to actually believe is free money, is a long way from free. They would have learned that you will encumber, in order to get this free money, you will encumber all open areas of Tangle Creek Park in perpetuity. In order to buy more park stuff now, instead of waiting until we can afford it without grant money, you will give up control of most of the physical areas in Tangle Creek Park. The city will give up the right, perhaps someday, should a future generation want it, to build something, a building of some sort on that park. You won't be able to do it because you will have given up your right to get this so-called free money. So I hope you will do two things. First of all, please consider giving more notice on committee meetings so that perhaps people can make arrangements to attend and show up. And second of all, please, seriously, reconsider spending so much more city money on the park, just one of the 4 parks that we have, I believe, while neglecting the basic infrastructure that we all truly need and depend on every day. And I thank you.
Hold on, Jackie, hold on.
No,
I know you don't do this, but I'm responding to Citizen City Cuba because, the park committee and I did call a meeting on the grant. In the last 20, 30 years, all we had to do is post 24 hours. We felt it was a pretty necessary need because we had to have it in by November 13th. We're behind the 8 ball. Time you do the volunteer study, the engineer study and all, we don't even know if we can make this grant. Now, this meeting was called for the park committee, administration. But since 2 aldermen was going to make it, we had to post it outside for everybody to make it. All that was there for was discuss the grant. Are we going to go look at this grant? How are we going to afford it? If you recall, we're going after the 50 something, what number is that? 501c to raise money for the park. This is why we're trying to raise money for the park, was to save the Citizen City Cuba thousands of dollars. I don't believe that the Citizen City Cuba should pay 100% of that playground equipment or nothing. So we got behind it trying to figure out donations. We don't know. I don't know where you get your number at. That's been a different meeting than I was at.
I was
It
at
was
the
never
same meeting
discussed
as you were.
1 million that I know of.
I was at
Was
the
it
same
Amy?
meeting as you.
$1.6 million. Oh,
I was not at.
I don't know where that number came from.
May I explain?
Well, hold on. You had your turn. You can explain.
Well,
yours.
but you're saying you don't know where I got my
Well,
number. I
let me
think you
speak
should
first.
hear where I
Then you
got my
say
number.
800,000. It's not. We don't know yet. It may be nothing if we can come up with the money for grants and donations. We may look and say, we can't do it, let's drop it. All we're trying to do right now is put a plan together, save the citizens of the city of Cuba a lot of money if we can get this grant. That is why we called the meeting at 11 o'clock, administration for park board meetings to set up, just to discuss things. That's all we're doing right now, try to save the citizens of the city of Cuba a lot of money. Am I correct, Jennifer? Do you have anything?
No, not at this time. I'll discuss it on the line item with the discussion of LWCF, but no cost estimates have been done yet, so we don't know what the cost to the city of Cuba is going to be.
Right, okay.
When you walked into the meeting, do you recall asking what was going on? And one of the 2 aldermen there said, we're talking about a $500,000 grant.
Oh, yeah, we talked about 500,000. I agree, that is the number we picked.
And you said, let's go for 800,000.
No, I did not.
Yes,
No,
you
I
did.
did not. If I
Mayor,
did, I'll
I
tell
was
you that.
there, I have my notes, I know what you said. However, you asked me where I got my number from, and I'm telling you now where I get my number from. They're talking about 500,000 when you walked in. 500,000 matching makes $1 million. 500 plus 500 makes $1 million. If we go up to 800,000,
I know.
800,000, well, you asked me where I got my numbers. I'm
You're
telling
wrong
you.
on that. I
No,
never said 800.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Assume you did for purposes of me answering where I got my
Well,
number.
you're mistaken.
800,000 plus 800,000 is 1.6 million. That's where I got my number. Now, if you want to save the city of Cuba people a lot of money, don't do this. You're going to give up control of the open air areas of your park. My grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, may someday actually want to do something with that they will be permitted to do because you guys wanted so badly to do things to the park now that you couldn't wait until we could afford it. You had to get money from someplace else, and you gave up the right to control much of the park. That's what I'm saying here tonight.
I don't understand when you say we gave up a lot of money. We ain't gave no money up, nothing yet. we're just
I
discussing.
didn't say you gave up money, I said you're gonna give up control in order to get the money that at least one of you is touting as free money. There is no such thing as free money. To get this free money, you will give up control of the open air areas of the park.
For what the citizens need.
They
Want.
need, they want, what they want is a darn basketball court. That's what the park, not the committee, the park board found out when they went and talked to the citizens. They want a basketball court.
And there's
Instead
no
of
problem
making
with it,
pickleball
Jackie.
courts and a pavilion and a splash pad and parking lots and sidewalks. They want a basketball court.
Jackie,
What?
it's on the plan for basketball court next year. We did discuss Splash Park because,
I'm glad you remembered that.
oh, I remember everything.
No,
You're wrong.
you obviously
Well, I
don't
said a
remember everything,
pavilion.
and I'm not wrong.
A pavilion.
We need to
Yes.
move along.
We did discuss
Limit
the
on
pavilion.
timeframe.
But other than that,
You do, but
Sorry.
so we have discussed the pavilion, we can have weddings and birthdays, and nice
Yes.
pavilion. Splash Park court. We're looking after the best interests of what we believe the citizens want. We ain't had a plan to park in years. We're finally putting a plan to go after grants, get a plan. That's all we're going after.
a plan comes before you start. You've already gone and put a $400,000 piece of equipment
That
out
was
into
the
that
plan.
park.
That was
You
the
didn't
plan.
have a plan, and now you're trying to work a plan around that and other things.
No, I had this plan when I bought that equipment.
Well, you certainly leave great doubt as to the veracity of that statement.
Well, in your opinion, but not the rest of the citizens.
Well, I gotta tell you what they do. I don't know where you guys, you need to go to the eye doctor and get that glasses. Because I live by that $450 million piece of bacon ticket. I live down on 202 North Lawrence. I can see the food. I can see the $450,000 bacon ticket. I ain't waiting. Nobody, no kids fail that $450,000 machine. What you need to do with that $450 million and take that and we do the roads in the city and do that for the people. Then we pay you guys in there we pay you guys in there for people do that for us. Just like this guy. This guy is a lucky person.
Hurry up, Pat.
We better in there.
Pat, hurry up. We're out of time here.
The man said, oh, it's like good pay on us. Ain't no good pay on us. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3 kids. We can, and I live like, I can get it. I can work over there. Ain't nobody pay on that. But big buck, yeah, I'm for big buck. I want a big buck. And I want a big buck over by that, where I can pay on it. But the one day, that's been with money. I'm for that.
Jimmy,
I'll keep mine short and sweet. I'm here to turn in my resignation, just due to situations. But I wanted to come in here and thank you guys for the opportunity that I did have with the natural gas and kind of help things get going in the right direction. I think they are. There again, I'm resigning as of right now. And I do appreciate the time that you guys give me. So
Jimmy,
thank you.
thanks for everything.
That's it.
All right, any other citizens' business? Dan?
I'm gonna stop letting people in front of me, because how am I supposed to follow that? Mr. Mayor, I have a handout here for all of you all in here. May I pass that out?
Go right ahead.
I got a copy for you. Copy for you, there's two of them, I think. Can you- Mr. Mayor. I want to address the council as a citizen, not as a park and recreation board member. But I need some clarification. This is an excerpt out of the city council, city ordinance book, chapter 19, that deals with parks and recreation. And I've highlighted the powers that be, and I need some clarification on this. It clearly states that the commission, which I'm going to assume is going to talk about the board and committee, shall have the power to construct, improve, equip, maintain, and operate such municipal property and programs for recreational purposes as shall be designated by the mayor and approved by the board of aldermen. Now, the way I see that, the way I read that, is that obviously, if we have an idea that we want to do something, we need to come to you guys. We need to take it to our committee, we need to bring it before you, we need to get your approval. We obviously have to get approval before we spend any money. We understand that completely. What I'm talking about here is a line of oversight over the programs that we have within the city. Talk about the ball programs. I need to know if the Parks and Recreation Board has any type of oversight on the ball programs that exist here in Cuba. The soccer program, football program, baseball program, and any other program that we may have that deals with recreation. Can you give me some feedback on that?
All I know, Dan, is, when they start, they have to show insurance and stuff like to y'all, to make sure we have the insurance, or if they have to play soccer. But our attorney may be able to answer that better than I can, because
Well, that's something we can't answer tonight, because that's going to require a review of other ordinances. So we could put that on for review at next meeting, but can't answer that on the spot for you tonight.
Can you give me any idea of who has oversight over anything?
We'd have to review the ordinances.
Okay.
But the final say
I
is always
expected
the Board of Aldermen.
Well, I understand that, but this is the reason I presented to you guys. I want you to put your teeth into this and give me some feedback on who has oversight of this, because there's issues arising, and we need to get ahead of it. And I need to know who needs to get ahead of it, and who I need to take my problems to get ahead of it. Thank you for your time.
okay.
I'm going to talk for the Parks and Rec Board, but I'm going to piggyback on Dan on this one. So when we're looking at this, what if he just talked and I read it, and I'm reading through the bylaws and I'm reading through, the ordinances. Law differ between shall and should. It says shall, that means it should, okay? That the board of commission, which is the Park and Rec Board, would act as, a natural neutral fact finder over ball programs. The problem is, when they're utilizing the Parks and Rec and things arise, there's no reporting factor for you guys when things come up. So when I'm looking at this, it looks like we shall instruct, improve, equip, maintain, and operate the municipal property and facilitating programs of the recreational. That would be under ball programs. It's clear as day, it's right there. So what would happen then over my board is that we would facilitate any natural fact findings of the governing ordinances of that. So if there's issues within the program, we construct the information We don't make decisions, but we provide it to the board. You guys have to start getting these things, because you have so many things that are being utilized that nobody knows from the tail end to the start end, and things are going awry. There's some major problems going on. Countless cities and ordinances throughout the whole state of Missouri, your parks and rec boards are governed as your liaison facilities to you guys. I'm not sure why PUA is not orchestrating as it should in over the ordinances and bylaws. It's not a power competition. You should be utilizing the board with natural, neutral fact finding to give you guys information to make informed decisions. Because when you are not allowing us to do that, you're withholding it, but then you don't have the time to do it, the citizens are going to be the ones that are paying for it. So what would be the problem to allow that? Where we can look into things and say, hey, you know what, we talked to the citizens, here's their phone numbers, here's their names, here's the situation, here you guys go.
Which situation are you
The
referring to?
football program. There's some major things going on with the football program. Every year, we're supposed to get their end of the year expenses, we give them expenditures. Last year, we didn't get the entirety of it. This year, there's a lot of things. Citizens are reaching out to our board members because when they talk to law enforcement, they're basically saying, hey, we need some proof of what's going on. When they talk to, city members, they don't, that's not the realm of things. So if we have an ordinance and we have the bylaw saying that we shall be doing this, what would be the problem allowing our board members to say, hey, here's the information we gathered, you guys take a look at it, and you guys see if there's an issue. But by doing nothing at all, we're letting the citizens down, and they're utilizing our facilities on the Parks and Rec.
Who elects these right now?
On their board members, their own board members elect within their own of the football association. So the only ones that have to have board committees is football. Baseball doesn't govern the same, either does soccer. We've never had a problem with soccer. Amy and Noel have ran it great anytime I've ever needed anything. Noel's actually here. It's right away. It's not why you need this. It's happening. As far as baseball with Joe and Jennifer Moreland, it's the same thing, but I'm telling you with football, it has not been. And it's making it where parents are pulling their children out because they don't want to deal with the drama. That's a problem, guys, and I don't see why if we have bylaws and we have ordinances, clear as day right now, if we wait another 2 weeks, that's another 2 weeks these parents are having to go through this. What would be the problem to allow the board to construct this, get the information to you, and then the next meeting you can present it with the attorney and you guys can look at it. But I think by waiting another half a month to do something is negligent. There are some serious things going on that needs to be reported to the council.
This is the first I've heard of it.
Me too.
I just got a call Saturday about it.
Yeah.
The first, yeah, I got a call Saturday,
There's some major issues.
yes.
So, but I'm asking the board, if we, or the council, if we can, just for this, till we look at it, at least gather the information and present it to council. That way we can get a jump start on this, because Dan and I have already been making contact with people, because they've reached out to us, we have information, let us be as a natural fact finder and submit it to you guys where you can look into this.
Can I ask Emily something? Emily, is this something that, since it's of a serious nature or whatever, that we should do an executive session, since we don't know what it's about, but obviously it's about?
Well, the matter is, before we even get to executive session, we need to be able to get them information, all the people's names, numbers, and get that to you, and then we can have an executive session. But we need to be able to get this information and utilize it to give it to you.
Can I just
Because it's
ask-
not where it's where law
Is it
enforcement's
criminal
been
in
set in yet.
Do what?
Is it criminal in nature?
No, well, here's the thing, we don't know yet, but before, here, law enforcement, no, they've already contacted law enforcement is not willing to step in at the moment, because they have no proof of it, that's what I've been told. Secondly, we don't know where it's at, but we need to at least get the information to get to you, to get to Doug, have the executive session, and then you guys deem appropriate with what you guys need, or at least give the leads to Doug, where you guys can go from there. Because they are utilizing our Parks and Rec program, and your own ordinance does say that we shall be doing these things under board.
Well, that's what I think.
And it also says, as shall be appointed by the mayor.
But we've already been appointed by the mayor. We've already been appointed by the mayor.
I'm gonna let our attorney,
These things.
Well, this is also the first time I've heard anything about the issue,
me
so.
too, probably.
Only this just happened.
Okay, so we can look at it and report back to the board, report back there by the end of the week, but I can't give you an authority word on anything tonight.
if you can let us know by then, because we're gonna still collect information as citizens and get it to you guys. So whether we act as a board or we act as individuals, we'll still have that for you. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Ray.
Tim, should she get the information before you give it to you, so you can give us a report back? Would that be appropriate?
I don't want to receive any fact-finding information at this point. I don't think that's appropriate.
You have to be very careful that you don't insinuate that somebody did anything wrong.
We haven't insinuated anybody did anything wrong. We're saying we're trying to find out if anybody did.
I'm just saying you
That's
have to be
important.
careful because you could have liability to the city if you,
You can also have liability to the city if you don't do anything at all. So there's that too.
well, it was reported to us so we can do something about it now, but
Well, here's a matter of fact. They've made contact, nothing's been done. That's why they're continuing, there's petitions going around apparently about this fall program. There's some major issues going on, but the problem is, it's not where it can get to Doug yet. It's not to where they can get to you guys yet. And the problem is, things fall at the wayside of situations. And if you have a board that is willing to get the information and collectively give it to you, I'm not sure why everything needs to be a power struggle. Let people get the information to you, but let people get the information to you. I mean, it's,
You and our, bring the information to us, let's turn it look into it, and we'll see.
okay. And I will talk for the board when it comes back around.
Anybody else in this meeting? All right, moving on. Regular minutes of September 2nd, 25, have motion to approve.
motion, second.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Yes. Executive session minutes of September 2nd, 2025, motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Bills to pay. Got a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Second.
Anybody got any discussion? All in favor? Yes. Discussion of LWCF grant.
So on September 4th, the Park and Rec Committee met and, with Kelly Sink with NRPC, who is their grant writer, to discuss what options, on this grant. I'd like to give the council an update about what that came down, what that was. We heard a little bit about that earlier. So it is a 50-50 matching grant for an outdoor recreation with Parks and Rec. And only be spent on park and recreation, or outdoor recreation facilities. It matches up to $500,000 maximum with a $25,000 minimum projects. The city's match can be done through donations, in-kind labor, and a cash match. So there's a variety of ways the city can fund their portion of the match. Applications are due November 14th. She gave us what we were required to fulfill the application process. We worked on possible projects for the cost estimate that be done by engineering. So at the end of the meeting, what was discussed was a splash pad with well house for equipment, a large pavilion, ADA parking, because that is a requirement. ADA has to be incorporated in that grant at some point. Sidewalks getting to the pavilion and the splash pad, or splash park, I apologize for that. Money, if money allows, we will add in the basketball court into this grant as well. Our cost estimates are not ready from engineering at this time, but they will be ready at the October 7th meeting. We are here today to ask that we can go ahead with council's permission to proceed with grant application. And after, we would need to approve a resolution at the next meeting if council agrees to this. We would need to obtain title searches, copies of deeds, and some other things to move forward. Any questions for me?
Yes, I had a question. That is up to 500.
Up to 500, that's all the grant will pay for. Anything over and above would be on the city, we would have to cover anything over and above. But I think once we get the cost estimates back, we'll see what we would want to, other projects that we listed, what kind of mix we would want to put into that grant before we would do final application process.
Who's doing the cost estimates?
Cameron with Archer, his group is doing those.
And where'd the budget come from to pay him for that?
I didn't have a question.
What budget did that come out of to pay him for that?
It will be a Parks and Rec budget.
And how much was agreed upon?
There was no agreed upon rate at this time.
And it's not gonna be a part of the 30,000 that he already got to?
No, sir.
No estimate of what it's gonna cost?
No, he said he would try to keep it at the bare minimum.
What is the grant writer charging us?
We do have grant hours with MRPC, so we can, with council permission also, and I will talk to Kelly about that, if she will probably, if council would like, we can use our grant hours on this grant. It will probably eat all of those, but we are able to use any grant hours that we have from MRPC on that, and that would help with some of that, I believe.
I think we get 12, don't we?
I don't remember what we put in there. It's so many a year that we get with, our year.
Are those free hours or do we pay for those?
They're free.
Mhm.
Up to 12, you say you think?
I don't remember how many we paid for
Usually 12.
through our yearly cost through MRPC.
And you did say that donations go there, and the money we budget out of the park tax is gonna go for that?
Yes.
And all the work that the employees do, plus the use of their machinery, plus all the
Yes.
materials we,
Yes, I know that the material rates, the employees rates, I believe are at FEMA rates, so, they're a little higher than the normal rates. If we get a donation for, concrete work, so it doesn't have to be just strict cash donations, that is at a, they would have to value their concrete work and their concrete and all that, brickwork, they can do any kind of labor for that. They can do a donation for the brickwork and they would value that, we can take letters today on the donations, they would just have to write us a letter. They want to do, labor and brickwork donation or concrete or whatever, lumber, things like that. The donations to us for the grant do not have to be in cash, they can be in other, donations as well.
If we get no donations, the McBride project takes off, we don't have the manpower to assist on anything. We don't know when it's gonna happen, we don't have a final plat or anything like that. So if you take out the donations that we have no idea how much we're gonna get, and you take out the fact that we may not be able to provide the manpower, who then will be paying for this entire $500,000?
Well, we won't see the funding until, sometime between May 2027 and September 2027, so this will come out of fiscal year 2028 budget, so we will be planning for it then, not today. And we will be looking for it then, so we would need some sort of commitment on in-kind labor in order to get the grant. We will need that commitment.
So in 2028, the McBride project should be, that's a 10-year project. We've kind of all agreed we're going to be incurring a debt in the millions on that project, right? It'll be hot and heavy in 2028. At that time, we're going to be going out and trying to get loans and facing manpower shortages. We're going to be fighting battles for money. And at that time, we're now going to be paying $500,000 for additional at that time.
I would like to see the cost estimates before I say yes or no on what we're asking is to proceed through with the grant application today.
and even if we did the grant application, if we decided we didn't want it before the date that they,
If they were awarded, we don't have to accept.
When you say they'll award?
Draft packets are going to be done for review around April 2026, and the notice of funding will hit June 2026 to July 2027.
There's a possibility we may not get anything, right?
We may not get anything,
But
we're
if
just
we don't
asking.
apply, we don't have to worry about that.
But
Right, we're just asking permission to forward through the application to figure, we won't know the funding portion of it until next meeting. We're just asking permission to follow through with the grant application at this point.
the only reason that I really have a problem with the grant, and can we discuss this now, or do we have to get a first and a second before we discuss it? You're asking for approval tonight, right? I want to be clear on that.
Approval to apply, yes.
To apply.
So should we vote on that before we really discuss, give our opinions or anything like that?
Well, it was labeled as discussion of the grant, so
So we're not voting on the grant tonight.
We can get a first and second and then have discussion.
Well, what I'm saying is, it's labeled as a discussion, it's not labeled as we're voting on anything tonight.
We'll discuss.
I'm just making sure that we're just discussing, we're not, because the other day, I misunderstood what we were voting on, and I made a decision to second a thing because I wasn't quite clear because I couldn't hear. So tonight, I'm just making sure that we're strictly discussing this grant. We are not actually, based on this, we are not actually voting on anything tonight concerning the grant, correct?
We are voting, Tommy, go ahead.
there is no vote indicated.
Right.
By
You're
your
asking for a
agenda.
discussion, not for a vote. So, in discussing this, the parks asked for a pickleball court, and they also asked for a basketball court. They also asked for a parking lot, and we canceled the parking lot. The basketball court now has taken back seat to 3 or 4 items that have never been brought to us by the Parks and Recs Committee. We have parks people here, have you guys ever asked for an additional splash zone, a pavilion, additional parking that we already had on the plan and we took back off? Have you ever asked for additional sidewalks to get, well, you don't even need them. And, but then the basketball is put off to the side. But I know for a fact that basketball has been discussed numerous times. In fact, at the park board, it was discussed twice. So I just cannot, for the life of me, understand how we have gone from, when I presented that grant, I was hoping that with the pickleball courts, we all agreed we wanted pickleball courts. We just couldn't agree on the location. And Cam has gone out of his way to find the locations for us, and we found them. But when I presented that grant that came across, I was hoping that we would take that grant and we would try to get the money to help pay for the pickleball court. I never imagined that there would be another meeting that says, let's push the pickleball courts. We'll take the money here for the $70,000 and we'll take this other money and we'll pay for this pickleball court. And then we are going to not do the basketball bills altogether. We're now going to look at all these other items that were not presented by the Parks and Board. And that's who we give permission to go out and talk to the public, run the program, and bring to us what they want. And I don't think they brought these to you guys. I think you guys did it.
I mean,
All right, let me tell you something to Pitch. Pitch, I found that grant way probably before you did when we bought that playground equipment. And we were looking at this grant quite a while ago. And yes, it was not brought to them because we said we wanted a pickleball court, maybe a pavilion for, that was just a plan for the future to see about the grant.
If you hide your plans from the public and from us, we cannot support you doing that. This holding everything to our vest because I've got a plan is not part of this board. We are aldermen and we work with you, Kevin, to get things done for the taxpayers and for the thing. And when you hide it and then you bring out, well, I've got a plan, I knew about this all along, that doesn't do us any good as aldermen or the public or anybody in the, Kevin, we got to stop that. We either are working for a common cause with a goal or we're not. Which one are we doing?
Well, here's what we do, Mr. Pitch. We're working for the citizens of the city of Cuba. Just because you didn't ask us about this, I had this set a long time. It's just a plan. It's just see if we can raise the money. I don't know why you throw against, it may not cost us a penny, but it may cost us I don't know why against following through with anything until we actually see where we're at. And we can drop it. But we're trying to save citizens a lot of money moving forward. So I don't see where you're coming from for saying we can't afford it. We don't know yet.
I have not seen a single time dropping something that's costing the taxpayers money.
What's it gonna cost taxpayers? Tell me right now.
So you're telling me that we're gonna apply for a grant and then not even 6 months from now, they say you got the grant, you're just gonna go,
I'm just asking what's it gonna cost us.
Well, this is up to
It could cost us
$500,000.
Better get donations. That's what I'm saying. You don't know yet.
Kevin,
Let's go get donations.
If we don't get the 500,000, it will match whatever we spend on Tangle Creek Park. Whatever we spend on Tangle Creek Park, they're gonna match us up to $500,000. We're not spending $500,000 to get this grant. Whatever we spend, they're gonna match up to 500,000. Isn't that what you understood?
It's a match, we grant 50/50.
right. If you apply for 500,000 and you get approved for 500,000, you are gonna spend 500,000. There's no doubt in my mind, you're
But
gonna
it can
spend
be a
500,000.
combination of in-kind labor, cash, and
I
donations.
asked you a minute ago, do we have any donations yet? No. Do we even know of anybody that's gonna donate that kind of money? We say no. We have to go with a what if we do not get the donations, we do not get the manpower, because in 28, it is gonna be busier than all get out if this McBride takes off. We're not gonna have, and right now, we even have 4 houses that we're supposed to be tearing down. We don't even have the budget to tear down 4 houses. But we're gonna stick ourselves with $500,000 in possible debt on, we may get a loan, we may be able to help out, haul some dirt or do whatever. I'm looking at it from the point of view that we get none of these. That's how, no matter what job I've done, or whether I own business or whatever, I've looked at my budgets and my debt based on the fact that I've got to pay the bill. Not, maybe he'll give me a check this week and that'll help. When I ran my businesses, I'd act like nobody's gonna pay me that owed me an invoice. I had to pay my bills regardless. So that's all I'm saying. Am I against the grant? My gosh, if we had the money and we knew for sure what we were facing in 2028, I'd say no problem. But we have to commit to this next year. You said we should know about this grant next year. We have so much going on in the next 2 or 3 years that scares me. If it don't scare you, we don't have a public works director. Right now, we don't have a natural gas supervisor. We are in bad shape, Cuba. Whether you want to admit it or not, I will say it. We are in bad shape. We don't have the manpower and we don't have the money to step out on this over something that the parks did not bring to us and say, and I've never heard this plan before, and I'm an alderman. You
Well,
can get mad at me and look at me like I'm wrong, but I'm just speaking my mind. This is up for discussion.
My question
today.
is, you brought this to my attention to bring to Joyce, who's on the Parks and Recreation Committee, if you were,
Well, it sounds to me like I didn't. Mayor just said he already knew about this grant and had already talked
yeah,
to
you
everybody.
asked me about it, and so I looked into it, I did, and I brought it to Joyce's attention, and it went from there. I apologize if I wasn't supposed to have done that.
No, you were fine. You told me you were.
But, I mean, I'm just relaying the information and hopefully get out there. Once those cost estimates come in, I think that then we can make a more appropriate decision. I was just waiting to proceed with the application. That's all I was wanting to do today.
I'm not faulting you at all, Jennifer. All I'm saying is, we have a park board that brought items to us, and none of these are on that park board.
Well,
So if
as
we're
far
gonna
as
discuss.
pickleball goes, I have the documentation, so the pickleball was #1 on their list.
Fine, I've already confirmed that.
And as far as the pickleball goes, we were leaving that in because we told taxpayers that that's what we're doing in this year's fiscal budget. We're gonna see what that goes from today. So that's why that was not included in this grant, and we discussed that in the meeting. So, that's why it was not put in the grant, for those purposes and those purposes only, because it was a budgeted project. And that we wouldn't see the funding until 2028. If we were going to see the funding somewhere in this fiscal budget, that would have been a project, yes, that would have been all for putting in this grant, but we're not gonna see funds until 2028. It doesn't make any sense.
I told you then that this was gonna be for that I thought the grant should be used for pickleball courts or basketball courts. You said pickleball courts are they're a budget item that had to happen this year because of their budget. You told me that. So then the basketball courts, I would have thought, since that's the only thing we discussed outside of pickleball courts, is the basketball courts. We even went down, Jerry, did we not go down, look at the spot down below the pavilion there that's currently the thing? and designed the basketball court and everything. We also got the parks people involved. The mayor was there, Bill was there. And we never discussed any of this stuff. So maybe it's a
Well, I think
plan.
because-
I have no idea who's planning.
I think the parking lot had to go back in because of ADA requirements within the grant requirements. There are some grant requirements that are a factor, the sidewalks to some of the other things.
Absolutely.
They had to go in because of the ADA requirements. If you put some things into the park, you had to have a way to get to them. So those are things that Kelly explained to us, is that if you put another piece of playground equipment, or you put, a basketball court, or you put a pavilion, or whatever you're putting in the park, you have to have a way for, people with disabilities to get to them, they have to be ADA required. And the parking lots that we have, we can utilize, but we'll gain more points within the grant if we have another parking lot. So we added that parking lot in there too, and when we saw it on the second, map, that wasn't approved, how Cameron and Elliot, it was much better in that mapping, from that mapping that he showed us, it looked much better, and so that's what we were kind of going with, that kind of drawing layout. So that's why we added that back in for this grant. We are going to look at the basketball court for this grant and try to hopefully work that in with our pricing. We just don't have the cost estimates back. I'm just kind of informing you where that meeting came from and what the projects were that were discussed. I was hoping we could move forward, but we can't, so we'll just do the approval at the next meeting for the application. We do only have until November 14th.
Can I ask a question?
Public participation is over.
It's over with.
All right, do I have a motion to approve to move forward with this grant?
We can't.
No, not tonight.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Yeah, the discussion's still open.
Here's the thing about this grant. Whatever we say we're gonna build, we do not lose control of our parks. We just have to build what we say the money is for. You don't lose control, sorry Jackie, you don't lose control.
Not what
But
was
it's
said
in,
to
no,
me.
wait.
Hold
Just telling you,
Wait.
not what was said to me.
Jackie,
I'm
break
just
that
telling you
for us.
a fact, I've been here before. If they gave, we're going to pavilion, we have pavilion $100,000, and we had to build a pavilion for $100,000, we can't use it for a spice park. We do not lose control of the park, we just have to use the money, what we said we're gonna do with it. That's the end of the conversation, because that's the way it works.
You didn't
Right,
listen
And
to
that's,
what I
that's
said.
it. So I mean, we don't lose control of the park. We have to spend the money the way we say we're gonna spend it, period. And we're
Like I
we're
said,
spending
you
it-
didn't listen to what I said.
That's fine.
That's it. That's all I want to say. And
All right, I guess we're done discussing. Let's move on. Are we gonna discuss the pickleball court bids?
why discuss it?
Because they already discussed it once, so.
It's on the agenda.
All right, we're on number 6, the pickleball court specification, bid specification. Joyce?
Well, Cameron is gonna do the bids for us, we just have to make a motion to go out for the bids.
Oh, we need.
That's what Lane, he's already said that he will do that, correct? Cameron?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
we're just needing a simple approval tonight of the specifications and to go out for bid.
What are the specifications?
You should have had them in your packet.
We're gonna take time to look at them. Because it's just one, and that's what I wanted to, was what?
It only says 1 court.
There's only one picture, one quarter that was supposed to have been for, these are it's supposed to have been for 4, but Jerry's gonna follow up with them tomorrow, and these aren't the final specifications, these are just the initial ones, so we'll correct them tomorrow.
Now, so we went from 3 to 4.
Well, that was what the pictures were 4, we'll do 3 and 4, I
We
believe.
need to do 3 and 4 just to see what the prices were, okay?
So they're gonna do both.
Yes, so make sure that's on there. Are you gonna be talking to him, Jared?
Tomorrow, yes.
I would like to make a motion that we accept, that we go out for bids and let Cameron do it for the pickleball courts.
You second, Ray?
Yes.
All in favor? Do a roll call on this. That's messed up.
Marcel,
Yes.
Hussein,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Yes.
All right. We're here at the budget transfer for Tin Creek Park, lot to the pickleball court.
we're requesting to reallocate the funds, on the new Tango Creek parking lot, which was July 14th, I believe it was July 14th, to the pickleball courts in the amount of $35,000. There's no increase in funding, so it would make the pickleball budget $70,000. Or court budget $70,000. Half would be coming from park tax, half would be coming from cap tax. There's no change in cap tax spending for FY '26. We're just reallocating, it on another project since the city canceled the original project.
Is that a
Do we
motion?
need to
No,
know?
all right.
Okay. Now, my suggestion is this, before you do this, let's go out for a bid on the pickleball court before we transfer the money. Once you transfer the money, then you're into that pickleball court whether you like it or not. That's all I'm saying. I'm not against it, but I think we ought to see what it's gonna cost us. No?
That's a good point.
And see what it's gonna cost us, then we'll transfer the money. You might want to, maybe one way or the other, we can't afford it. So let's, don't get it out of the park, just don't take it out of one thing and put it there, then we almost have, then it's designated for that. That's all I'm saying.
It's up to you guys, it was just
And you
something
don't
that
have
was
to, you
mentioned
don't
when we
have to
called it.
transfer it tonight, would you not? Do we, Emily? We don't have to transfer it tonight.
It was something that was mentioned when the project was halted, and I was asked if we could still do that, and was put on the budget for
And
our
it's
meeting.
nice, once you do that, you're committed.
So,
But we're going out for bids, so the money's gonna have to be transferred over
Yeah,
there.
it can, but the trouble of it, say the bids come in astronomical, which we don't know because we're going out. Say they're $400,000 or $500,000. We're already discussing the grant that we don't know what we're gonna get. So we say, okay, well, this is $70,000 now, 30,000, 15 minutes, or $15 is still committed to pickleball court. And if we got a pickleball court we can't afford, what do you think, Mr. Mayor? I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Let's just see what they cost before we transfer the money. What is so hard about that?
it's not hard at all, we can do that, definitely can do it.
So table it until we find.
Yep.
Sounds good.
All right, now we're moving on to number 8, Parks and Rec recommendation. Joyce?
Okay, the first thing that we were going to discuss is Noel Hendricks is here from the Cuba soccer program. Would you like to explain what it is that you want to do?
Yes, I would. My name is Noel Hendricks, president of Youth Soccer. Have been 15 years now in the community. I am asking for the designated area that is set up at this time, if there needs to be a visual. It's 245 feet down that sidewalk that leads in through the gate, and it's 425 feet heading towards, I guess, the west down that sidewalk. I'm asking for year-round consideration of year-round usage of soccer area instead of the portable goals that we use now, putting for the community, for our youth program, for some tournaments, for golf leagues that are on the agenda for coming in. I have a guy that reached out in Mid-Missouri Inferno Soccer Club. He's wanting to use Cuba as a hub for a 5-on-5, like they do 3-on-3 tournaments in Jeff City. You guys hear about these state games? He's wanting to do 5-on-5 here in Cuba because it's central of everywhere that all these teams are coming from. Kansas City, Lee Summit, they're coming from all over, and they're going to St. Louis all the time. They're going to Kansas City. He's wanting to find a central, and he is going to reach out and wants us at Cuba to have a facility to host these tournaments 9 months out of the year. Boys and girls, 18 to 36, 40 teams a month are gonna come visit our facility, 5-on-5 tournaments. So I'm asking to put in permanent goals that cannot be destroyed by kids hanging on them, destructing them. I know the nets are wearable, and I'm not asking the city for Joyce brought up tonight, if something happens to the field, destruction by a vehicle, ATV, side-by-side, would you guys be liable to fix it? That's a negative, no. I'm not asking for any kind of help as far as maintenance of the fields, the grass cutting and stuff like that, that would be discussed, or have to be brought up, with the park board or whatever, they do it now, but just make sure. And then also I brought up the park meeting that there would be blackout dates where we cannot host tournaments. Fair, rodeos, whatever you guys came to me with a calendar every year in an ample amount of time, on both ends, please, that we don't host the tournaments for weekend of July 18th or whatever, because we're knee deep in the fair. And I'm just I need a year-round facility, guys, to grow and to do what this gentleman is asking me to provide.
So Emily, what would we have to draw up? Anything at all?
You also stated an amount that you were gonna spend on it, right?
I have a bid from Lotus Landscape for $10,000 to go in there and put new topsoil on all 4 fields that are established now, just the way they are. If you guys go up there and look, just the way they are. See them strong, take care of all of it, and then later on, I will come to the board and ask for permission to put up a approved fence. That way, with a gate, to where we can keep people from doing what they've done in the past.
And that $10,000 is a donation from the soccer program.
What's the board's recommendation?
For that, our board recommendation is for the approval of that, because by doing this, it also will bring a lot of tax money into our community. Residents or restaurants will get more, business, Walmart, mobile, so more money will go in. And I actually did look into the program. Yeah, and I actually did look into the programs, and they're big for soccer. They have a lot of people that do the soccer programs. I think our board thinks this would be great. We voted for a recommendation for the year to designate the soccer fields to allow Noel to do the $10,000 donation, and that there's no parking or nothing, and that would just be soccer fields. Because if we can utilize this year round, it brings more business to our community, and we have more taxes coming in. That's a win-win. Our board feels.
Do we make a motion on it to do it, or does there have to be some kind of contract, Emily?
I don't know that you need a contract, but did I understand you to say you were gonna present a proposal to them?
I was at the last park meeting to have this motion brought to you guys this evening.
Okay.
So I am just here to state with new faces tonight what my plans would be if this was granted. We've just outgrown our area. We have 308 kids this year active right now. So we have 1,000 people going through our program every Saturday from 9 a.m. till 3:30. 4 fields all day long going. I invite you guys to come up and come see sometime.
So the proposal for him is the $10,000 donation to do that. The only other thing that Noel would need, because obviously it is city, we would need a fire hydrant up there, obviously, to be able to water the fields and stuff like that. So that is something that we would need from the city. It probably wouldn't be a bad thing logistically to have it there anyway.
How far is the nearest hydrant from that?
Yeah.
It's all over.
It's all the way down by the bathhouse and what I see.
Is there any water along there anywhere?
There's
It runs through.
3/4 inch copper.
It runs through that somewhere, through that field.
There's a hydrant by the arena that runs up, and that's 1/4 inch.
There's a line that runs between the soccer field.
Yeah, my watering system that I'm looking at is 2-inch inlet is what it calls for.
Can I make a recommendation, Emily? My recommendation would be that you put something in writing to us At the same time, the water guys look at what would entail, the expense to us to do the hydrant on the SGE, and then bring that back to us to vote
You won't hit a 6-inch hydrant, do you? Just
For
like
the
a
hydrant, as far as the designation with the $10,000 donation, he really needs to get on that ASAP to be able to lay everything out before the winter.
We're looking at October 13th.
The hydrant can kind of be, he can do that, but what our recommendation then would be to move on that part of it and then do the hydrant secondary.
Emily, would a lease be better than just a word of mouth? Just an
A
okay?
lease,
A lease?
well, certainly a written contract of some sort would be better than verbal. Yes. And I do think a proposal that the council can vote on would be appropriate.
To make a motion to allow
I'd be
them to
in
do this.
favor of a lease.
Well,
He's
he's
not
not
asking-
asking lease.
Yeah, he's not asking for a contract.
The field, you need to have control.
Yeah, he's not asking for.
I'm not asking for any control, right?
Well, you're asking for the field though. We can't use them for anything else except.
For soccer, for soccer.
I'm asking for a soccer facility, just like there's a ball facility, and just like there's a.
I understand what you said, sir, thank you.
So that would be that, because if he's gonna be able to do the $10,000 donation free of charge to our citizens, and over 300 kids just, as of right now, it stands utilizes that soccer field, to bring in that much more, he has to be able to get to see it and all this stuff down
What
in
do you
time.
think?
So I'd like to make a motion to allow them to do this, if that's all we need to do, is make a motion.
Thanks, Bruce.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes?
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Just make sure you do that.
I will. Yes.
And you gotta start working on what we call.
Yeah, I have one question on that, just so we know,
Yes.
will that hydrant be metered?
Would it what?
Will it be metered? It has to be metered, because, but whether we charge or not, that's up to you guys. Because we have to show it in our loss category,
But they wouldn't use it, what would they use it for?
To water the
water
field.
the field.
But it's donation, so it would come back on the city, it wouldn't. Right,
Give it out of fire.
right, exactly. You really need it anyway, with that.
Yeah, with our year-end report, we have to know how much water loss at every
That's
spot.
not meter. That is a meter.
Okay.
You don't have to identify.
Yeah.
That's coming.
Okay, guys.
We expand this.
And I would like to, for Noel and Amy, I would like to thank them. Anytime I call either one of them, talk to them, or any of our board members, they're always quick to give us, they're always very communicative, and they do a lot for the community, and especially the children, so thank you guys for passing that for them.
Yeah, anytime there's any questions, guys, of our program or any, we have an open book, come see
You
us.
mind sharing your phone number?
Yeah, 573-259-3959.
Can you make sure that those guys you got your phone number?
They do. I got them on speed dial.
I'm gonna
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay, Joyce, anything else?
Yes, the park board made a motion that we reconsider money for the basketball courts. But they are going to be budgeted for next year or the next, depending on that, the grant, if we go for the grant or not. So this year, I think we've used all the park money that we can use, haven't we, Jennifer?
Yeah, it's my recommendation until we get some of these projects done, that we don't add any new projects to the parks this time until we see where we come in at that. And then maybe at a later date within the fiscal year budget that we can revisit this if we choose not to do the pickleball court, or if some extra funding comes in and we can afford it. But right now, we don't know where we stand, so I think we should hold off on the basketball this
So
time.
I'm not going to make a motion on that. And I just want to add that we have some closed session meeting minutes that we will review at a later date.
Can we talk about the basketball?
Yes, so I put these couple of things on to order as well.
Hold on, let me.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say, that if you're gonna apply for this grant, the basketball, since that was brought up by the parking board, and everybody said they wanted, even during the pickleball thing on the Facebook pages, I went in and read the comments, there's a lot of comments with people wanting basketball courts. I don't understand why that does not get priority. If you do get the grant, pushing through the grant, I don't understand how the basketball goals are the last item on that grant. when they were brought up as part of the pickleball courts, the parking lot, and the basketball courts. All these other items should take backseat to those basketball courts as those basketball courts are installed. Not, we have pavilions at every park. So I don't know how a pavilion can override the basketball courts when everybody's run the basketball courts for years.
I do think that the basketball courts should be on that grant if we go out for it. If not, budgeted for next year.
Well, number one is, basketball court is in that grant. It ain't number one, number two, number three. It is in that grant.
Wait, I will quote what you guys said in your thing.
We didn't change their plan, pit pavilion, stuff like that. We just
We passed the basketball for recommendation back in October 2024. We've been trying to get it done.
You said this grant's gonna go through, and you itemized, Jennifer itemized what they were, and basketball was stated to be if we can do it.
I think it was all on there, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're not putting one over the other.
If you mean if we could do the grant?
Says,
If the cost allowed on the funding, that was what we just discussed in the meeting. So, I mean, basically the cost estimates are gonna come back and we can play with what we have in there. If one, we can plug things in and out, is what we decided in the meeting. So something can be taken in or out, the pavilion can be removed and basketball courts can be put in, if one or the other is, but,
I'm saying that the basketball court should be the very first item on the, if the grant is approved, the basketball court should be the very first item. Because it was brought up by the park board who made recommendations
We
to
don't have a
us.
problem with that.
I'm sorry?
We don't have a problem with that basketball being, we said, we just put it all in. We didn't say this is
That's
first,
not
second.
what was presented in
I'm
discussion.
just letting you know, basketball court's in there, that's how,
I'm saying that if you put in for this grant, the number one thing that you tell them that you were gonna do with the money is the basketball courts. And if you need to put parking somewhere where they can get to it, then put parking to it to meet the ADA requirement or whatever. But the basketball goals were brought up by the park board very first. They should be the first item on that list of money.
and we said it, all of them first.
That's
I mean,
not,
you know what I'm saying? We want them all in that grant. It's a package deal.
no, that's not how that was presented by Jennifer just now. It said splash zone, pavilion, ADA parking, sidewalks, and if the money allowed, the basketball courts.
Well,
I will tell you that 93% of citizens that we have talked to, that was their number one thing they wanted is a full-size basketball court, 93%.
When we were discussing our budget last year and Jennifer was asking us for input on what we wanted to spend money on and everything, that was an itemized type of, what's your priority? Well, our priority is this and this and this. And the basketball court was priority two. We wanted to do the pickleball courts because that was the big thing. Everybody was screaming for that. And then we went to basketball courts. And then when budgetary talks started coming out, we were told that there was no money for the basketball courts by Jennifer, and that we were gonna have to redo and plan for them next year. And then all of a sudden, we've got talks about adding all this other stuff. You're lost me there. I understand you're applying for a grant, I understand you're trying to get the most use and put as much stuff into this park, because we're trying to build a park. Okay, I mean, that's our goal, is we want to make a central park for Cuba to enjoy. We already have something for the 6 to 10-year-olds, 11-year-olds. We have a pavilion for the adults to hang out. The pickleball courts is going to encompass anywhere between 6-year-olds all the way to 50-year-olds. But the basketball courts they're tailored for the teens and the 20-somethings. And I think that needs to be addressed as well. We need to make sure that we encompass something for everybody. That's all.
I agree, Dan.
That's the way I saw it, and that's the way I presented it in the budget, was that we're trying to, you know, well, the playground equipment came out of nowhere as far as I'm concerned. We were just told that this is what's gonna happen, and then they came to us and said, we need to figure out where we're gonna put it. Well, let's put it here, you know, and you asked our opinion on that, and we gave you our opinion on that. We had absolutely no say-so about what we were spending and where we were coming up with this playground equipment. Now that it's here, I'm happy that it's here. It's a beautiful piece of equipment. Had nothing but positive feedback on that equipment. Everybody in the community loves it. And I'm very happy with that. Because it would have been sour if somebody would have come back and said, well, this sucks. You know, but we're not getting that.
And Dan had a great idea regarding, speaking of the pickleballs, we put something on Facebook and we asked them location.
Yes, where it went.
And that was 90%, 97% wanted the pickleball courts over near the playground equipment. Last discussion we asked, we said, well, where's their pickleball courts next to homes? Bourbon. Bourbon has their pickleball courts 40 to 50 feet from homes, and there's been no reported issues there, just so you're aware.
They have one court there.
But there's no reported issues of sound complaints or anything, and it's 40 to 50 feet from houses.
And I've never seen anybody clean them.
Okay, we've already
But
voted
we're
on
just
this.
letting you know what our findings were. So there's that.
And you didn't put correct information on your survey, because we had already rejected
We actually had a survey.
the one
prior
that
to
you had.
You just did that last meeting. So we put that on there, but either way, we can ask for input of what people want, where you guys are at. Our board is, again, we talk with the community. So you guys make the decision, but we talk to the community, okay? So that information, I talked to Tony about the basketball support, or the pickleball courts, I'm sorry, from where the location is. So, I mean, he's an alderman, I trust his input on that, so, I got that information. And then Pitts, I respect what you just said, there's not a lot of manpower, we have all these things we're trying to do, but we gotta start moving on them, because like we talked, we have taxes, passing taxes in April and things like that coming up, and whatever our board can do to help you guys, utilize our board if you need us to go out and help get additional information or network with people, because you're right, you don't have the manpower. That's why things I think are going out the wayside, because like Jerry, he spends his wheels, he's the man of all trades, that he only can do so much, so if you can utilize some other people, utilize some people, you two, no, you do a lot too, anyway. But you know what I mean, like, but I'm saying, the people you do have are doing so much everywhere that all these other little things and extra things, you have nowhere to go, which leaves me just for final closing with two things that at least I have. As far as, I've never met Jack before, I met her today, right, Jackie Hunt? There was a letter to the newspaper regarding the committee and the mayor. I'm not sure who else was privy to the grant session. I will tell you that it wasn't Dan and I that had the initial issue with it as far as how it was written, because it alluded that our board might be knowing about the meeting. And I'll tell you, there are some people in the community that were upset about how it was constructed. So one of our board members were the ones that wanted just to say, hey, so there'll be something coming in the next newspaper. Every board member has signed it on my Parks and Rec to go into the newspaper, just, alluding that we were not aware of that meeting. And we're not sure, we weren't very privy to what the grant is, what you guys are proposing for grants, because although our park committee was there, we were not privy to that information. And actually, I think it was actually Wells, our board member, brought it to our attention on that. And then in closing for this, as far as just to close on the football things, I want to be clear, no board member has made any allegations as far as the football program. Again, we're just natural fact finding and presenting information to you. We haven't said it is, we haven't said it's not, but there is a petition, if you have not made yourself familiar with it, going around with the football program that utilizes our Parks and Rec field to span the board members because of things going on. So their allegations are already out there. There's a petition with over, I think almost 150 families that have signed it. So I'm telling you, there's some things going on. So that's why I'm just saying, we've already been in contact. People have reached out. We have information. So once Emily gets that information back by the end of the week, let us know, and we'll go from there. And then whatever information we would find, we would present to you, we'd make sure we gave it to Doug, and we would get you in contact with the people that you should be in contact with. It would save you guys hours of nonsensical, contact with people that you don't need to, we could do the legwork, save you guys time, because again, it's like you said, you don't have the manpower to do all this. Everybody has to.
I'd have to have more information, because I have no.
Right.
We'll do
I
some
don't
more.
understand, I don't understand this. What part of A, B, and C are we talking about? We're all coming,
Yeah, this wasn't on here to talk
what am I
about.
understanding?
Well, the problem is it just happened, well, that's why we're bringing it to your attention.
I'm not criticizing, it's just that what part of A, B, and C? I mean,
Well-
we're all on about
And we'll have to get
correct?
that.
And again, it just happened, that's why we're giving it to you. That's why we're not voting, we're not
Well, I
making
didn't-
decisions.
Go back to where we were a while ago.
Which part, we already concluded it. Which
All right,
part?
I know what he's trying to say, we don't have this on the meeting to discuss. But I want to thank y'all, and I just want to say this, Dan, and Parkville, y'all done a great job.
I do too.
I do know you don't have enough money to do what you want to do. And that is why we're looking at grants, we're trying to figure out, get donations to help y'all out.
Mayor, I don't worry about money. That's your worry. That's where you guys are figuring out where to come up with money. I mean, I sat here in a meeting and there was an air conditioning system that needed to come up, $6,000-7,000 needed to come up, and that money materialized just that quick. So I know that the money is floating around somewhere, but that's not me to determine where it comes from or how you're gonna get it. Our job is to make the recommendations about what the community wants, and then if we get your approval to do that, then I would expect things to move forward on that. That's all, that's
Thank
it.
you.
That's my issue. Thank you.
All right, where we at? We don't have nothing on the hit gate.
Okay, number 9, you requested to pass in the next meeting.
Passing it?
Yeah, table number 9.
Okay, we're going to approve for FY 2023 audit. So we need a,
Just need a motion to approve the 2023 audit the auditor has completed, so we can move on to the next year's audit that is ready to move on forward with.
so we need a motion to approve this, right?
Correct.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor? Against? Street Department, something did. Joyce?
Yes, Bill couldn't be here today, but they sent out 3,
I saw him do that already.
they tried to get 3 other bids, and this is the only one, but this is the one that they are on reserve for, so they reserved this off for Cuba. We didn't have to buy any last year, and if we don't,
So how much is it?
it's $11,875 for 125 tons.
Motion.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes? Police chief report.
Short and sweet, I hope. Our nuisance report, I know Shaw Street's a concern for a lot of people and citizens. We have dealt with them as of 2 weeks ago, this coming Wednesday, so we'll be going back there this Wednesday, and we'll be issuing most likely tickets to those people that are currently living there. I don't know the living arrangements that he has with the owners of the property, but I do know the owner's property has been contacted, and he needs to go forward with getting them removed from that property. Once the summons or whatever is wrote, goes to the council, he pays the fine, starts over. So that's all I have on nuisance right now. Does anybody else have any concerns with this?
I don't have that. Anybody got anything for me, Doug?
I don't know of anything else that we're working on currently.
That's that car on Crestview, and I found the ordinance, and it's supposed to be covered up with it. I'll send it to you. The ordinance.
Okay.
You got anything else?
Last time, like I said, last time I went there, it was covered. So I don't know what more coverage we want. Does it need to be a camo tarp? Well, I mean, does it specify a car tarp? I don't know, last time it was completely covered with a tarp, so I don't know what else to tell these
It's
people.
just parts of it are covered with the tarp. But I will find the ordinance and send it to you.
Well, I don't go by there every day to look. I mean, it's possible that they had it covered, completely covered one time, when or whatever has moved it. But,
Okay. Thank you.
and I also, the last thing I have is the street closure for Oktoberfest, the weekend of the 18th and 19th. They are requesting that Main Street is closed from School Street to Washington Street. Just need that approval form.
Have a motion?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Again?
That's all I've got.
Thanks, Ed. Moving 13. Bill number 2189. Motion to read the first.
Motion.
Second.
I actually did this. All in favor? Against?
You don't have them, you gotta put it back in.
Uh-oh.
Dang it. Did myself and I gotta do myself. I got it. That's right. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an agreement with AAA Tree Service for tree trimming services.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2189.
Motion. Second.
Roll call vote.
Hugen. Yes. Howard.
Yes.
Mortimer.
Yes.
Lestane.
Yes.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Vote to have the second reading of bill number 2189.
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Sorry.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an agreement with AAA Tree Service for tree trimming services.
Motion to approve the, second reading.
I have the first motion.
Sorry.
Richard second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
No, we better roll call this time.
Yeah, hold on. I have you as the first and you as the second, is that correct? Okay, we're gonna do a roll call. Hartzell?
Yes.
Lestane?
Yes.
Mortimer?
Yes.
Roberts?
Yes.
Hugen?
Motion to approve the reading of bill number 2189. What?
Become special.
We're done, we're good. It is,
Okay, I got it up. Bill number, I think I messed that up. 2189 becomes special city ordinance 947 on the 15th day of September.
947.
Okay, we're moving, motion to have the first reading of bill number 2190.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
You have that one, Elaine?
an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an agreement with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services Office of Dental Health for a grant for the continuation of the city's fluoridation program.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2190. Second?
Second.
Hugen. Howard.
Yes.
Mortimer.
Yes.
Lestane.
Yes.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Motion to have the second reading of bill number 2190. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into an agreement with the Missouri Department of Health and Senior Services Office of Dental Health for a grant for the continuation of the city's fluoridation program.
Motion to approve the first reading bill number 2129. Second?
Richard second.
Roll call vote.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Lestane.
Yes.
Mortimer.
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Hugen.
Bill number 2189 becomes special ordinance number 948 on the 15th day of September. Going to have the first reading, bill number 2191. Got a motion?
Motion.
Second?
So,
All in favor?
Aye.
An ordinance of the City of Cuba, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interests for certain officials.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2191.
Motion.
Second?
so,
Roll call vote.
Hukin. Halberts.
Yes.
Bordemeyer.
Yes.
Lestane. Hartzell.
Yes.
Motion to have the second reading of bill number 2191.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, Lynn.
An ordinance of the City of Cuba, Missouri to establish a procedure to disclose potential conflicts of interest and substantial interests for certain officials.
Motion to approve the first reading of bill number 2191.
Motion.
Got a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Lestane.
yes.
Mortimer.
Yes.
Halberts.
Yes.
Hukin.
Bill number 2189 becomes general order number 1243 on this 15th day of September.
12:43.
Number 16, bill number 2192 was not prepared, and so it'll be passed in the next meeting.
Okay. 17, old and unfinished business. Joyce.
I don't think I have anything.
Okay. Ray.
Another thing.
Harold. Richard. Laney.
Nope.
I don't have anything. All right, do I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
Second.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?